And coming to you live from an old woman's house on a hill for what is supposed to allegedly be the last time before we move into Kenny's basement, it's Sports Allegedly!
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this episode on November 20th, 2023 of this Sports Allegedly. Chris to my right, Sean across the way. We're going to talk about Heisman favorites. We're also going to give our Final Four scenarios for college football. We're also going to give our MVP prediction. I says also too much. I did. Sorry, I'll fix that. Potential coaching moves that we're seeing right now in college football. Some we want to see in NFL. But let's get started. Obviously, from as OU fans, let's get started on the OU BYU game of last Saturday. Any thoughts, Creston?
Don't start with me this week.
You want to go?
No, I'm good.
I don't have anything. I was asleep.
You go ahead. I'll fill in. I'll interject when you say something wrong.
11:30 a.m. games. 11 a.m.
Okay,
games.
So this scenario, we do our picks every week. The scenario was OU was a favored by, was it 20 or 24? I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah.
It was high. So obviously I picked BYU and you guys did not. Fools. We don't play well on the road this year. 24 and a half. So now, did I think OU was going to win? Yes. So you get through the game. They're not ready to play. The team looked out of sorts. I thought BYU, let's give BYU credit a little bit. I thought BYU's game plan was good. I thought they had the defense as far as for OU off kilter, if you want to call it that. The running quarterback, Slovis was the starting quarterback. It was his 17th school that he's been at. He was a starting. Then they brought the Retzliff guy in. Now he didn't have great numbers, but at times he could run the ball well. But BYU turns out to be, before the game, the last place rushing offense in the Big 12, and then we give up Aiden Robbins. He gives up rushes for over 182 yards on 22 carries.
Our linebackers were out of position all game. It was like they were lost. They didn't know how to line up.
It's funny.
It was always a step behind.
It's funny you say that because Venable's press conference when he came out this week had said the exact same thing. He said, I didn't think the defensive line got whooped like they did in Kansas. Now, personally, I don't think the defensive line did shit this game. I was very disappointed. I've been very disappointed in them for the past 3 games or so. Now, West Virginia, obviously, they played better. That was a game that was, whatever. It was a special game, I guess you might say. But you turn around and you look at the road games, especially OSU and Kansas and now BYU. I thought that they were just very quiet. They had the 1 sack in the fourth quarter by Stutzman, and that was the first sack. I think it was in 15.
It wasn't by Stutzman, was it?
I thought it was Stutzman. You might be
right.
He
had a sack.
Yeah, but the first sack in the game what's number 8?
It was the fourth quarter.
It was the only sack.
Yeah, it was
Stutzman then.
Yeah,
okay.
it was
Stutzman.
It was
Stutzman, whatever.
The first sack in like 15 quarters.
Yes. Yeah.
And so that they have regressed a bit as we've talked about. I thought beating Texas, that was the best defensive performance. Obviously, West Virginia looked good, but it seems like at times they've regressed. Now, they're playing different people, that linebacker, I understand that. But going back to your point about the linebackers, that's exactly what Brent said. Defensive line didn't get whooped. He said, I thought the out-of-position plays were by the linebackers. Yeah. And that's his position that he coaches for the team.
They just seemed like they was always a step behind. It was like they were just, they would gain 4 or 5 yards or a little more every. You could tell, and then every once in a while it would be like they would meet them right in the hole and be in position. But the rest of the time they were just a few steps behind, and it went on the whole game.
Now, what we did see a little bit more of as we've continued to move throughout the season is Gavin Sawchuk continues to get the brunt of the carries, as we all 3 predicted he should be getting at the beginning of the year when healthy, and there were some health issues. We understand that, so. We're tied 17-17 at half. I don't know if it was the last play. It wasn't the last play of the game. I don't even know if he went back in. I couldn't remember. But the last series, Gabriel gets hurt right before halftime.
Yep.
Doesn't come back out.
He did finish the drive.
That's what I thought. Jackson Arnold comes in, started the third quarter. Thoughts on him? He's young,
but I think he's good. I think he's going to be way better than Gabriel ever thought about being.
I didn't like burning his red shirt.
That was.
I don't
yeah.
know. There's no way to get that red shirt back if he's going to be our starter for the next 3 years.
Not now. It's just 2.
What do you mean 2?
We're only going to get him for 2 years now.
We burned his red shirt. How's he going to be? Is he just a freshman this year?
Yeah, but he can go to the NFL in 3 years.
Oh yeah, well that's if he decides to go.
Yeah.
He'll go.
He will.
He'll go.
Hey, you heard it here first. 2025 Heisman winner, Jackson Arnold.
I agree. I think he's that good.
Now, next year, going to be rough. We've already talked about that, and we'll talk about that in the offseason of the upcoming schedule with the SEC.
Our schedule
the move.
it's a little tough.
It's tough. But we do have Maine on the schedule, though, so that helps. So, going back to the game, Jackson Arnold, I thought, started out,
he had some happy feet, though, and he was a little out of place.
He looked a little Landry Jones-ish.
Yeah, but he settled in. After the first series, and then they punted, and then he come back out. He was a little better. He kept getting better each series that he was out there.
And I'm pretty sure, more than likely, Levy dumbed down that offense, didn't throw everything at him. But hey, you tell a guy, hey, we're going to redshirt you. But the guy, I didn't see a lot of, I don't know that play.
Yeah.
I didn't see a lot of that.
He knew the offense. You could tell. Yeah. You could tell he knew what was going on.
Overall, though, and when you get back to it, OU, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, the line play on both sides concerned me. It's concerned me all year. There's moments where they're really good, but overall talent, I mean, one of our OU bystanders, Mark, thinks that, Bill Bedenbaugh's the God's gift to offensive line. I don't think that they have played well this year. Now, you guys, yes, pass blocking, okay, you can say that. But now, as we've got through the season, some of those, that quarterback's been rushed. Gabriel has the one that's got out of a lot of stuff with his feet when it comes to the offensive line play. And we don't give him enough credit as far as getting out of the pocket and making plays with his feet or passing.
Doesn't really give him any credit.
And not at all.
I give him credit.
But
I think he's got a weak arm. I think he's got a weak arm.
I
he does have a weak arm. I don't think.
We know. That's been proven.
But no, I thought one of the best moments of that game was, I think it was Nick Anderson. It might have been Gibson. I can't remember off the top of my head. Wide receiver. Had a step about a yard and a half on a guy. Jackson had him wide open, overthrows it. And immediately I thought, an underthrow is more catchable than an overthrow. Yes? At least you got a shot. By the defense. Oh, no, but by the offense, too. Gosh. At least you got a shot.
Here's the deal. Gabriel heaves as hard as he can, shits his pants as he's throwing it because he's trying to throw everything he's got into the ball, and it's short.
Disclaimer for the fans, he's never liked Dylan Gabriel.
He's never.
I don't dislike him.
Dylan Gabriel, he's just.
I just say he has a weak arm. He does.
Sold on Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, I haven't seen the big.
He didn't have him as a first ballot Heisman.
No, like someone did at the table.
Now hold on.
Whoa.
I said invitee to the Heisman, and that was a prediction before the season even started.
Yeah, but you said it multiple times throughout the year. You said it 2 weeks ago.
I did not say it 2 weeks ago.
Okay, 3 weeks ago.
You're fibbing.
No.
Once we lost our first game, he was out. He was done. For sure. He's not. The Daniels kid from LSU is going to be the only kid that's got a shot to win the Heisman, as we get to that here shortly.
Yeah.
That has multiple losses.
Yeah, but there's two front runners. It's going to be one of them.
In your eyes.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Anything else on Sean? Comments on the OU game? Anything?
No, like I said, I had terrible days at work, and I had to get some sleep.
Sleepwalked. All right, Crescent. Anything closing on that?
I hope we get it tied up. I hope we we're going to be at home for the next game.
Play TCU this week. Spread start open at 12.5. It has moved down a little bit. It looks like to the 10.5, depending.
When is Dylan Gabriel's evaluation? Is it tomorrow?
I don't foresee him playing. I'm going to go ahead and say he doesn't play. That's my prediction.
And I'm okay with that.
Because that's less than a week. Of course you are. That's less than a week, so I think they're going to go ahead and keep him out, as they probably should. Depending on what happens with the other games, I think Jackson Arnold will be fine beating TCU.
He'll go to the NFL, be a great backup for a team for Landry Jones' amount of years. I forgot how long he spent on Pittsburgh.
A long time.
He was there for.
And then what's-his-face stole it from him?
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph.
Rudolph. Yep.
And then Mason Rudolph said the N-word.
Allegedly.
You got to throw the allegedly in. You can't just.
But he's still
those Oklahoma State people.
So still on the anything with TCU you want to talk about? I don't foresee an issue. But TCU has. They have gotten a little better as the season has went on. What was their last schedule? What was their last few games, Sean? As far as what
they're
TC?
3-5 in.
Yeah, but the last few they've actually played a little bit better when it comes to the actual game. So they beat Baylor. Texas was a
They
close
played
loss.
better. They played better against Kansas State at 41-3.
I said the last few games, and that's 4 games ago.
That's few. That's a few.
4 is not a few.
Yeah, it is.
I would say, Creston, would you think 4 is a few?
Are we going to get into the argument?
Are we
going to
argue about what's a few?
No, I just
a
asked an
couple of
opinion.
pairs?
I mean, I just
Couple.
asked an opinion. It was an argument. I asked one question.
An argument?
It wasn't an argument.
A
That's what
few
I
is
said.
3.
See, not 4. Anyway.
It's 3-4.
3 to 4.
But
okay,
the
I'll go
last
with that. I'm
games
not
they
arguing.
had played better. Texas Tech has played better. They lost by a touchdown. They lost to Texas
3-pointer.
by 3, and then of course they beat Baylor, who's garbage this year. You think Dave Aranda's on the hot seat a little bit at Baylor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
do.
He's been there 3 years now?
Well, 4. I mean, second year he went to the Big 12 championship, won it, and beat OSU.
He can't recruit. I don't know what's going on with that team.
I don't either.
He can't get any recruits in.
I don't either. All right. What do you think? How about predicted score? Now, this is obviously a Black Friday for all the people that are out shopping and with their wives and girlfriends at Target
I gotta
buying
take the
cheap
scores
TVs.
Craig.
and cheap TVs and stocking stuffers. It's
What are you going to be doing?
working, but I'll be home for the game. I'm going to go...
You're going to get all your work done.
I'm going to
by
go...
11.
No, I'm not. I'm going to go 38-20. 38-20. 38-20.
21-14.
Close one.
Yeah.
It's at home. I'm going to give them a little bit better. I think they cover.
I don't even know what the spread is right now.
Started at 12.5. It's down to 10. I mentioned this earlier in the pod.
No, you mentioned it to us, and I didn't listen to you.
34-28.
Okay, so you're close too.
Yeah.
Not a cover.
No.
Will you be picking a non-cover on your picks, boys?
Well, no, I'll pick a cover.
I'm going to pick a cover.
What the hell?
I don't think they will, but I'm picking it anyway.
Unlike you, I don't go against OU.
And won
Except
that
for
pick.
one game.
And I won that pick. That was easy.
Okay.
That was easy.
Was it easy?
I
You've
thought it
gone
was.
0-5. You're slowly building back up. 2-3.
I am an NFL professional, but I'm gaining ground on the NCAA. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Oklahoma State. Now, if what I guess I was most impressed with Oklahoma State is I had Houston not winning but covering.
Yeah, I had Houston covering.
But I think the thing about them is they were down 20. Was it 23?
23-9.
9? Was that the halftime score?
No,
So-
Oklahoma State started scoring right before.
right
halftime.
before. So at one time they
At
were
one
down
time it was
23-9.
23-9.
So okay, you're right. It was 19-23. That's right. So that's when the momentum changed, and then they just kept the momentum throughout the second half. I thought the Presley kid had a hell of a game. Bowman continues. I thought he was garbage, and he still continues these games. And I mean, less the UCF game, which was a total team meltdown. And
Yeah,
he
that wasn't on him.
Well, he didn't play good either, but that was everything, and
Yeah.
every ball went UCF's way. But this game, I thought that Gundy had his guys ready. I thought he had them focused, and they were down, and they took the momentum going into halftime, and they just kept riding it. Daniel Holgerson's the team.
How has he not gotten fired?
Now I don't know. I mean, he might get one more year too, but their team looks slow.
Yeah.
Very slow.
And how did they almost beat Texas?
There's been a lot of people that's
Almost
beat
beat
Texas.
Texas.
We'll talk
No,
about
but they got
Texas
really
here in a
close.
minute.
They got really close. They were as close
Yeah,
as
they did.
Kansas State.
Yeah, they
Actually, didn't they have them down at one point?
I don't know about down, but they did have a drive that I think I think they might have went down on a fourth down call,
It
and
was
they
into the
didn't get a
game.
good spot or
Something,
something. I don't
yeah.
know. Maybe there's a penalty. I don't know. I watched it. But hey, I mean, teams need luck too, and we've had our fair share. And I think Texas.
It's called Sooner Magic, baby.
That was a game that Texas actually was very lucky to win that. TCU, it seemed like they was winning most of the game, so I don't really necessarily think that was luck. So OSU, they are right now second place in the Big 12.
Yes.
They beat BYU next week, and it is a home game for OSU. They will go into the championship with Texas as long as Texas takes care of business against Tech. I think that was opened at a 13.5-point favorite, Texas versus Tech. It's at home for Texas, so the two front runners have the home field advantage. I mean, we'll talk a little bit about when we get into scenarios of this. But as far as OSU, what do you feel about that game? I mean, BYU was at home, probably played one of their better games of the year.
I still think if they start the quarterback, whatever his name, I can't say it. I'm not even going to say it. But if they start him, they have a shot.
He will start. He will play.
Okay, they have a shot.
Well,
a legitimate shot,
and it's their one game to get bowl eligible too.
Yeah.
So you've got one team. Are they focused enough to get to the Big 12 championship? You've got another team fighting for bowl eligible to get into a bowl. It should be interesting. OSU always. I mean, they're. You should not play so bad in the road compared to the home, but both Oklahoma schools tend to definitely look different on the road. But that was what I was most impressed with.
Carl.
That was what I was most impressed with.
No, Carl. No, go Pokes.
Carmack. Hey, Carl. But I think that was the one thing that I was most impressed with was that they came back in that game.
They stopped sleepwalking. You could say the first quarter they slept walk through.
Yeah,
and figured it out.
And Houston did have some plays.
Houston
that
got comfortable
and
let it go.
Yeah.
And Dana could never come back. No matter what he did.
Because I thought
the drives were all horrible.
Well, I thought that safety that they got, I thought, oh boy. I mean, this could be another ass kicking. And OSU's going to take it on the chin. And then all of a sudden I think they got, when Houston had the ball after that, they got a turnover, I believe, and got good field position and scored after that.
Yep.
So,
then they never looked back.
I thought that was the most. I thought that was most impressive. So, give Coach Gundy and the Pokes.
Coach Sealing.
Carl says, "Hey guys."
Well, hey, I mean, you say Coach Sealing. I mean, did any of you pick him in the Big 12 championship this year? No, nobody did. So stop. Anyway, now I did pick him in the over. It was a hypothetical question I knew the answer to. So, because I know none of you did. I mean, I think we all kind of looked at OU, Texas, Kansas State. That was my three. Interchangeable.
I had OU, Kansas State, Texas.
Yeah.
Or Texas, Kansas State, OU.
No, everyone had about the top
all had
three.
The same
and it's going to look about that way, except OSU.
Kansas State technically is still not out of it, right?
That's correct. They're still not. They can still get in. We'll talk. Creston, do you have that pulled up? The scenario for as we're talking about the Big 12 championship.
Are we going to that? We're going to talk about Tulsa and that.
No, we got to still talk about. We'll talk about. We got to get our predicted score for the OSU BYU game too. Now, Sean? What time is that? 2:30.
It's afternoon.
Okay.
Why Oklahoma State always gets afternoon?
I know. Is that is that a Saturday? That's a Saturday game, right? Because we play on Friday. Yeah, because it's 20 today.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know days.
So it apparently, if Texas wins, obviously they're in. If OU wins, if OSU wins, they're obviously in. That's the two. Now you start getting down to people losing, then they've got the Big 12 has really fucked all this up because they've added scenarios throughout the season. First of all, it was head-to-head didn't matter if there was only 3 teams. Then they're like, oh, shit, we can't do that. Let's change it up because OU and Texas are kind of in the top.
Yeah.
So let's, if you want to take that conspiracy theory, go. And another stat I read in Texas, actually, is Texas and Oklahoma are the most penalized teams in the Big 12.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that that's not legitimate. But also, I did read a stat that Texas, their opponents during those games are the least penalized. So, a lot of it looks a little hokey to me. To a lot of people.
I'm just saying.
But changing that in the mid-season's bullshit.
I'm
Craig Sampson followed us 8 minutes ago on Facebook.
So that is concern
I'm just saying,
for me.
We should have beat OSU, period. We're a better team. We should have beat them.
Correct.
But
we only lost by 3 and our kicker missed one.
Well.
I know, but here's the deal: the pass interference call that was not called on Stoops at the end when he was tackled.
Correct.
That is a touchdown right there, or at least a pass
Gets
interference.
To the 2-year line. Yeah,
2-yard line.
2-year line.
2-yard line. First and goal from the 2.
Correct.
I
agree. It doesn't mean that we win, but it changes the dynamic.
They said, sorry, we missed it, guys. Our bad.
Did they ever?
Yeah, they did.
Did they? Yeah, because there's been a lot that, we had the other game that they were like, oh, that was a penalty. They are not wanting to admit anything.
Yes.
And remind me when we talk about the NFL, when we get to that, the flag's there. The refs are ruining the games. They are we could have a whole podcast about the refs sucking ass because they do that. They are ruining these games.
They're inconsistent.
They throw flags the whole game until it comes down to the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game, and then there's not a flag.
That's good.
I'm ready to go home. Yeah. It's bad. It's real bad.
So the predicted score. Let's do scores, Sean. What do you got for What do you got for the OSU BYU game?
38-20.
Hang on, sorry.
Halftime update.
Why is the secretary not ready?
Halftime up. Or halftime right now.
Philly is shit in the bed.
17-7 Chiefs.
There goes
over
my
the
win
Eagles.
for the fantasy football week.
I am.
Never go against the Chiefs.
I'm
always go against the Chiefs.
I'm 8 points away, so I've got to get 8 more points.
Eight more points to beat you, right?
9 maybe.
Hold on, Craig wants to say something.
About 9.
It's because of the motion plays OU does is why they won't succeed. Ask Creston.
I agree.
He's so full of shit. He's, our fans now are barking on the Facebook because they want to be able to get Preston riled up. Now, have they done less of that? They have. Now,
yeah, but they still done it last week, and
a
it was
couple times.
I know, but it was
just
a loss of yards both times. Don't get me started.
I think
it's bullshit.
It's all setting. It's all setting something up later.
1,000 yards.
I think it was a 1,000-yard loss. Yes. No, but I mean, do you not think though that I thought the play call for the offensive play calling last week wasn't great, but I think he's really getting better about feeling the game as far as how it's going. I mean, the run game got better. He kept running the ball. He would give it to Sawchuk. I mean, that's what you have to do as a play caller. You've got to, it's, and then you get Arnold back in, and it was very vanilla. And that's what you had to do. I mean, obviously, I think they run him a little bit too much. That concerns me for Arnold, especially that game. They did some runs with him, and I know he did that well in high school. I do, but I think when we don't have a backup like we did with Gabriel last year, we didn't let him run at all because our backup sucked. Look at the Texas game. If we had a quarterback, it wouldn't have been 49-0.
God, don't get crazy started with that.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, that's obvious. But anyway, going back to predicted score, what do you got, Sean? Sorry.
38-20 is what he said.
Who?
OSU.
Oh, okay. So you're taking OSU.
Yeah. I've given up on this.
I'm 33-30 BYU.
I went back and forth on this. I think I'm going to go 35-28 OSU. I think they pull it out, and I think they play Texas in the Big 12 championship. Because I don't think Texas loses to Tech. It's at home.
No.
The trap game was last week.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what that game goes to. We'll talk about the playoff scenarios here in a little bit. So
Tulsa not making a bowl. We're going to even talk about Tulsa's.
Yeah.
Tulsa's been a disappointment.
Tulsa's shit in the bed.
Well, and then they played the Francis kids who walk on. I mean, are all these quarterbacks hurt?
Yes.
What is going on in Tulsa?
Look, there's nothing. There's nothing there. There's no other quarterbacks.
I mean, is it the worst luck?
Braylon Braxton's out. Caden Williams is out. Caden? I think it was Caden. So yeah, Tulsa's they're down to a walk-on as a starting quarterback.
And he actually played pretty good. I thought the defense was the problem there.
And that's that new kid from
3 touchdowns for the quarterback for North Texas. I mean, it's just
and North Texas coach is what's his nuts too.
That's not. It's a new guy. I don't know.
Is it new?
No, Seth Luttrell's at OU now as an analyst. That's who you're thinking.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought he was still there.
No, he's an analyst at OU.
Well, I guess Tulsa did not get our overs.
It was 5, 4,
4.5.
4.5.
I thought they had the over, but
didn't I pick North Texas? Oh, I did.
Shut up, you racist.
I'm not racist.
He uses that word wrong.
Yeah, he does. All the time. All the
know what it
time.
means. But anyway.
We're going to try this. We're just going to gloss over. Tulsa's playing Eastern Carolina.
Oh, shit. Big win this week. I'll go. Boy, both of them are just horrible. Let's go 31-32.
24-23.
31-32. 33. How about 34? 34-31. Sorry.
34-31. 31. TU. Sean?
35-34. How about that?
All right. Moving on from
East Carolina.
You take.
I've given up. I've had to give up. I don't know. I had to give up on Tulsa.
All right. Let's. And that's why we haven't talked about a lot about them, because the injuries were tough to keep up with. The losing was tough to keep up with. And anyway, there we go. But hey, going back to OSU, I did get the
first
over.
year for the
mention that?
coach.
Did anybody else pick the OSU over on that beginning of the year? 6.5.
I might have. I forgot.
Yeah.
I
think 7 or 8 wins.
I think we all said that.
I thought that was a way low. I mean, if we were rich and had
list
sports gambling, hey, anybody that in Congress in the state, let's go.
Kenny thinks
Governor,
he's rich.
let's go. Let's get that gambling going. Let's go. Oklahoma needs gambling.
All
right. Let's talk about Heisman.
Okay.
Who's your Heisman front runner? As of right now.
As of right now.
But I don't know about right now, but I kind of want to see because the voters will get to vote still in the championship games.
Jordan, go Dogs.
So what are you thinking? I mean, as far as your Heisman,
there's two, and I don't know
Johnny
who
Go
I would
Dogs.
put. I don't know who I would put number one right now, but there's two.
It was
I would
Jordan
go.
Travis,
I would go Bo Nix and Michael Penix.
say that later because that's ridiculous. But anyway, go what now?
Bo Nix and Penix, Michael Penix.
Big old Penix.
Yep, big Penix.
Big Penix.
Big
And I don't know which one I would put one right now because, I mean, after they play in the Pac-12 championship game, I think that will seal it for one or the other.
determine your.
Yeah, it really will.
No, beginning of the
That's the
season,
two
I
front
had Jordan
runners.
Travis. I really did.
Jordan Travis wasn't making the Heisman invitee. He's not that team. That's why I don't necessarily think Florida State's going to lose to Louisville or Florida.
You just said tonight they were going to lose to Louisville.
I think they will, but I'm saying not necessarily. Hey, let me finish. He's
am
not the whole.
Here we go. Circling the
I am
wagons and
confused.
talking
No,
in circles.
he's not
Yes.
the whole team.
He said that they were
Going
going
to
to
lose
lose.
to
And I'm still
Louisville.
going to pick them.
No, they're not going to lose.
No, I didn't say that they're not going to lose either. If you
Muppet.
listen,
You're a
I
Muppet.
said they aren't the only. He's not the only team. You look at him statistically.
He's not the
he is
only
way. He's not the only player on that team. You look at him
Well,
statistically.
no shit. No one's the only player on a
Let
college
me
football
finish.
team.
If Bo Nix had Jordan Travis, they'd have 3 or 4 losses. I'm just saying.
If
Bo Nix is
had
a good
Jordan Travis, another
Oregon,
quarterback.
Oregon, I meant. But anyway, but what I'm saying is, look at Jordan Travis statistically. Have you looked at his stats?
I said at the beginning of the season.
Well, I'm talking
Kenny.
about now. He's still not at. Even
Well,
at
that's
the,
fine. You
even
jumped
at the
down my
beginning-
throat
even
about
at,
now.
Even at the
when
beginning
I
of the
said
season, he
at
wasn't
the
any
beginning
good.
of the season,
He wasn't any good either. Florida State as a team has had a good year.
Yeah, he wasn't any good. Beat the hell out of LSU, but wasn't any good. Let's just
They
not
beat
forget that.
They beat everybody they played.
And they
pretty
did beat
handily.
LSU, and I'll give them
Pretty
credit
handily.
because the defense
Georgia,
for
Ohio
the
State,
defense
LSU, Clemson.
the defense for LSU is
Kenny.
horrid.
Kenny, what you got over there?
I said my picks were shit already. There's no doubt about that. And if Florida State makes it, good for them. But it's not because, and it won't be because of Jordan Travis. Agree?
At this point, we're going to find out.
That's what I'm saying. So if they make it, it won't be because of him. That
Even though
guy's
they
got
jumped-
2
they
big
jumped
wins.
Wisconsin- or
They've got to play
Washington
Florida,
over.
which is a rivalry game. They've got to beat Louisville in the.
But now, as I continue,
Please,
since you
go ahead.
interrupt me for the Jordan Travis comment,
I just had to giggle about that because statistically,
Caleb Williams, that's who's going to win the Heisman.
He did say something about Caleb Williams at the beginning of the season.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams action.
Oh,
beginning of the
statistically,
season.
I thought he would have.
Could you just take your statistics
Stats.
and
Stats.
just go to sleep with them?
Okay, if you look at the Heisman,
I'm going to get you a blow-up doll, and I'm going to write statistics all over it.
If
And
you
her
look-
name is going to be statistics.
if you like,
And I still haven't finished what I was saying.
well, go ahead.
So you want to just jump in.
Go finish.
I was going to say Penix or Bo Nix.
Okay, so
Cool.
statistically,
Yeah. Why? Why, Sean? Oh, that's cool. No, I don't understand.
no, I mean I think that's everybody's favorite. And then everyone's going to say, okay, the winner of the rematch, even though Nix has lost once to
Yeah,
Penix.
but I said midway through the season, I said, okay, I'm going to go for Penix. Penix is the better quarterback.
Yeah, but there was bad play calling in the loss.
Well, the going for it on 4th down was,
The
but I mean,
twice?
That's
but
what
he
I'm
was
saying.
the quarterback that didn't get it too.
Two times?
Yeah.
it
Yay,
was
nay.
twice.
But
Two
it was,
times,
but,
and going for two and going for
but
two.
he
instead
was
of
the
just
quarterback
kicking-
on the field that didn't
Well, no,
get
I know,
it.
but instead of also kicking the field
Okay,
goal,
but
hold on.
but you
Hold on.
can't say it's
Kicking
just the
the extra
quarter.
point
You
and
can't
going
say
for
it's the
two
quarterbacks.
was
So
wrong.
they didn't get the blocks up front. They did. I mean, there's more players than just the quarterback on the field.
I understand.
Not
that.
according
I said
to his
that-
statistics.
No,
I know,
said,
not the.
No, I said that
stats.
earlier just when I was talking about Jordan Travis. There is a lot more, and that's what I said. He's not that whole team. Statistically, he is probably in maybe the top 20 to 25 quarterbacks statistically. Jordan Travis ain't any good. It's not any good. They've had a
That's
good
why I
year.
said at the
Yeah.
beginning of the
Yeah.
season.
So, but as going far as them two, yes, they are the front runners, obviously. But now, Jaden Daniels has better stats.
Never heard of her.
Has better stats.
Never heard of her.
Well, no, I'm sure you haven't.
LSU.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is Jaden or Jalen?
Or it might be Jalen. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I get
it's
the
a
Dan.
Daniels,
I get
Jadon.
yeah. Jaden.
One's at Kansas, one's at LSU.
Yeah.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, but no, I mean, so you've got obviously the same two, but I mean, who actually is going to win the Heisman is going to be Marvin Harrison. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I could see that. God, everybody's so high on him.
Everybody loves quarterback play. and that's why
Who won last year? Caleb. And who won
yeah.
the year before that?
Probably a quarterback. But anyway,
yeah,
it's always a quarterback.
Quarterback always wins.
We haven't had a running back since. Who's the last running back? I know Adrian. Close.
Second. Rashawn Salam. Is that going back too far for a running back?
No. There's been somebody. Ingram, didn't he win?
You're right. The Alabama. That was the first Alabama win too. Mm-hmm. What about Henry? He didn't.
No, he did not.
No.
But Ingram, that was Alabama's first Heisman winner, I believe. That's nuts to think about.
I know.
But they never have quarterbacks. I mean, it is a quarterback deal. That's why I think that.
Well, they had Broadway Joe.
That's why
Kenny Stabler just.
That's why I think that as far as when you go Heisman, yes, the Pac-12, they're the front runners because they're going to be the most visible.
Yeah, well, they're the spread offense. They throw the ball above. I mean, that's what they do.
So, do you think if Washington beats Oregon in 2 weeks,
Phoenix is a lock
to win it?
No, to win the Heisman.
And Nix is out totally.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see because some people vote before the championship games, and
State's only got one.
Some can vote after when it comes to that. So yeah, Barry Sanders is the only one.
Oh, Devontae Smith, he was
wide receiver.
Yeah, wide
I thought
receiver.
you said running back. I'm sorry.
You did say.
Well, yeah, I was trying to figure out running back.
Yeah, I think it's Ingram. That's
a
a guess.
You may be right.
Kyler, Baker, Lamar.
Henry did win it. See, okay, I thought that too. And then right up about 3 or 4 rows above is the other running back would be.
So Alabama's got 2.
Mark Ingram right there.
Yeah,
they have 2 now.
They have
Mark
2.
Was the first.
Yeah, Mark was the first. Yep.
One. I like Harrison. I think he's going to win it. I think
Reggie Bush vacated.
I think they're going to want to take somebody besides.
Is that Ohio State?
The wide receiver.
Yeah.
Now, if they win that game and he puts up 10, 11 catches against Michigan, and then has 1 or 2 touchdowns.
Well, and I want the Bears to take him. I want Harrison Jr. to be taken in the first.
He should be. As we move down the road to our pre-draft party, I'll mark it down, slap a label. Marvin Harrison is the number 1
Seal
pick in
it
the
in
draft.
concrete. You forgot
He is the number 1 pick in the draft, hands down. There's nobody else that's more NFL ready than that guy.
All right, we're going to do the phone call.
Yeah, we can bring on. We'll try the phone. We're going to try it a little bit.
I need his number. I need his number. Hand me the
We're going to try to bring on a Texas bystander to talk about
playoff scenarios.
The playoff scenarios for the final. Now, as we look to go to that number, Creston, what is your what are you feeling as far as your Final Four? Now, obviously, there's a lot of games to be played, but what is your feeling as far as the Final Four predicted? And give us kind of a scenario how it gets to where you want it to go.
Okay.
Because I've got a bold one, but go ahead.
Okay, here's my deal. I don't think Georgia's that good as they have been in the past years. I think Alabama could beat them.
You're gonna hear a ringing.
Hear it.
But I got a couple scenarios. I mean, I've got multiple ones. But first is Georgia, Michigan, Oregon, Texas. I think Oregon beats Washington. I think Georgia beats Alabama. I think Michigan beats Texas. I mean, Michigan beats Ohio State, and Texas is in therefore because
Lord.
You have, he's here. Okay.
Hey, Craig.
Hey.
All right, we have a Texas bystander on the line now. Go ahead, hold on, Craig. Go ahead and finish your take on your picks on your Final Four.
So I've got Georgia, Michigan, Oregon, and Texas.
Okay.
And then that's my first scenario. My second scenario that I would go with would be Bama, Ohio State, Washington, and Texas. I've got Texas in both ways.
Okay.
I mean that's my take.
So you're gonna take the Pac-12 winner in no matter what.
Yes.
And
yes.
even if it is Oregon, Washington.
Well, I mean, if Florida State wins out, they can't be left out. But I think they will lose without their starting quarterback. I think they will.
To Florida or Louisville.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So scenario, let's say they do win out.
Then they're in. Texas is out.
So that's your fourth team?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Craig, did you hear us?
Oh, yeah. What's up, guys?
Hey, so we're talking about Final Four scenarios because this is the last year of the college football playoffs. And we're talking about scenarios as far as, we've got a couple games left. We've got the last week, which is generally rivalry week with a lot of teams, and we're going to go into championship week as far as the conference. So you're looking now at Georgia. Now this is AP, so I mean I haven't looked at. I mean it's going to change a little bit, but Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Washington is in the 4. There's coaches. They still have kept Florida State up there. Still Michigan, Ohio State. So they're going to play each other anyway. Florida State and Washington are interchanging there, and then you've got 6, 7, and 8, which is Oregon, Texas, Alabama, and even 9, which look to be all of the championship games. So Craig, give us a scenario as a Texas bystander. How do you see Texas getting into the Final Four? Do you think it's possible?
I honestly don't think so. I think they finished 5th. I think it'd take a lot to happen for them to get in.
Do you think Alabama would jump them if they beat Georgia?
100%.
Yeah, I think they would.
They can. If they beat the number 1 team in the nation, they can jump Texas.
I do. I think that, bringing Texas along is my scenario that they would have to.
Yeah, they would have to bring Texas along because Texas beat Alabama.
So Craig, say that Washington wins and beats Oregon, or vice versa. I think either one of them. Crescent's probably right on that either one of them go the winner to the Final Four, and then you've got Alabama beating Georgia. Let's say it's close, which it probably will be. Even though the game is probably in Atlanta still. Do they still have it in Atlanta? The SEC Championship. So that's kind of a home field advantage. Alabama wins. And then you've got Florida State losing. Wouldn't you think that would bring Texas in?
They would have to.
I don't think the committee is going to go for that. I think they're either going to go for Washington or even say Georgia gets beat by.
And you'd put Georgia at 4th is what
no
you're
way
thinking.
Texas gets in.
Yeah, I can see that scenario too because the previous champs, the previous national championship. But I agree. I mean, I think that Texas
beat Alabama
it's
head to head.
All about Alabama. It's all about Alabama. If Texas can ride the coattails of Alabama to the Final Four. Period.
Yes.
I agree with that.
They beat them Texas went to Alabama and beat them. So if Alabama makes it in, Texas has to make it in.
It would be tough, and Craig, listen to this. It'd be tough to not take a champion of a division or of a conference champion like Texas would be. Their only loss would be a not quite big. It wouldn't be quite top 10, but OU's going to slide maybe 1 or 2 spots up. So they're 13 now. It'd be 11 to 12 maybe. And to take Texas, that's their only loss by a drive at the end of the game to secure the win. It would be tough to say, hey, we're going to take Georgia, and they're not even the champs.
Oh, I agree, but I feel like the committee shows they're for the SEC. So I think Texas is also going to be fighting the committee, and then they're going to have to go of that loss to OU is what's going to hurt. It sounds bad that's what's going to hurt Texas because you have your powerhouse Georgia and Alabama. I don't feel like there's a way to get in. I think they finished number 5.
Yeah, but here's the deal. But another thing to think about, though, Craig, is that Georgia's going to lose to a team that's ranked lower than Texas. Mm-hmm. Did I say that right? Georgia's going to lose to a team that's ranked lower than Texas.
Yes.
Because Alabama won't.
If Alabama jumps up in, they have to bring Texas.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think you're
right.
I would think
so. I would think so. I think I would have to agree with that.
Who gets fucked the most is going to be Washington if they lose. That'll be the first loss, even though they've already beat the team that just beat them.
Yes.
But they're not conference champions. And I don't see how they can take a non-conference champion. I mean, we're obviously talking Michigan, Ohio State's obviously in. No matter
whoever wins,
that's in. That's easy.
That's easy.
There's no doubt about that.
And I still think that whoever wins the Alabama game is in.
They're going to beat Iowa. Iowa or Michigan or Ohio State. The winner that's going to beat Iowa, no doubt. I just can't think they beat them any worse. But I'm with Creston. I've got Bama. I've got the OSU Michigan winner, number 2. And I've got the Washington Oregon winner, number 3. And I've got Texas sliding in at number 4. That's on the idea that Florida State does drop one of the 2 because their quarterback is out.
I think they'll lose one of the 2.
I do too.
Who are they playing?
I do too. They play Florida and they play Louisville.
Yep.
And Louisville's got one loss again. What? Go ahead.
As a Texas fan, also, I hate to say this, but one of their biggest thorns is Texas Tech. So I think this week is going to be closer than what people think.
Well, I think you're wrong. I think you're definitely wrong. I think Texas rolls. They're at home. The spread's over 13. I think they're going to be focused. I know Tech has gotten better as the season has went along. I mean, you have to realize that some of those people, these professionals that do this for a living and get paid, thought Texas Tech could win the Big 12. I mean, nuts. I mean, some of them had him first, second, or third place. I mean, one of these dipshits, I've got his name. I'll pull his name. Had OU pick number 9 in the Big 12. I mean, that's just people trying to make names for themselves.
That was your best friend.
Is it Brett McMurphy? Brett Salee. I think it's Salee. Yeah. So
yeah.
screw you, Salee. You suck. Anyway, OU number 9. And I think he was one of them that had Texas Tech number 2. Now, we all agree that Texas is the most talented team in the Big 12 overall on paper, and they should be there, and they should win the Big 12. It'll be interesting to see how the officiating goes. If OSU gets in there, is there going to be much difference? Are you going to see something from the refs?
I think they'll screw Texas as many times as they can, period.
All right. So,
what will also help Texas is I just seen again that Worthy is a go for Friday's game, but I'm with Kenny. I don't think they play him. I think they kind of be conservative and try to just get the win without.
What'd you say? A leg injury, right? Was it lower leg injury?
Yes, lower leg injury.
Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't play him at all. I think Texas is going to win. And now one thing that I want to ask you before we let you go, Quinn Ewers has made comments. Now, I haven't seen it officially out of his mouth on any type, but there's been a lot of talk that he's going to come back to Texas next year and return for his 15th season in college. Is that something that your brethren is excited about, or is it something that you'd rather move on? And second part of that question, which second or third string quarterback, Murphy or
he's already got a Lamborghini.
Or Manning, who transfers?
I think Manning stays. His family's more or less, been putting on Twitter that he's going to stay. But
transfers to A&M and gets that money.
I think Murphy leaves.
Mississippi's my pick for him. He's from Mississippi, I believe.
Well, Jackson Dart's on his last 18 years.
Mississippi would be a good pick for the Lane train, and we play Mississippi. OU does next year. So
that's one of our easiest games.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
So you think Quinn's coming back?
Oh yeah, he'll be back.
Okay, so
he'll come back for his.
Now, so how do you calm the egos of the Manning family? Don't you think they thought, and obviously this is allegedly we're all thinking, don't you think they thought Quinn was done after this year, and that's why they came? Not the only reason they came to Texas, but one of the reasons they thought, hey, this guy's at the end of his career, I'm going to come in and do that.
I think they based it off him leaving, for sure. I think they thought he was leaving after this year, going pro.
Now, that's not official yet. That's obviously not official, but that is the rumors. So, all right, well, thank you, Craig, our Texas bystander, for joining us. We might talk to you in the next few weeks as Texas.
Oh, Kenny's definitely going to talk to you tomorrow. We already know that.
As Texas ramps up to look to get into the Big 12 championship and
the
playoffs. So, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hopefully they'll pick up from OU and get a receiver to be a running back. Is that right, Creston?
Bye.
Yeah. We're not starting that.
I'm the one that hangs it up. So Craig, we could talk
hang
as much
his
as
ass up. All right, thanks for joining us. No, but I like that. I mean, Sean, what was your picks? Did you mention your picks as your final four? Did you think? Are you anti?
Yeah. What's your final four?
Well, with the loss to Washington, that really killed my Oregon.
Not
I don't
necessarily,
think so, because I think Oregon will. I think Oregon will beat them.
And with the loss of Jordan Travis, that killed my Florida State.
That killed mine too. I had both of those. Yes.
They did get dropped in the rankings. We don't have the.
Now Florida State wins out.
The football playoff.
Texas is
do
done.
we?
Yeah, Florida State wins out. Texas
will be
is out. Yeah.
Youngstown State is in the top 20.
Who?
Chili Willies.
But I don't think Florida State without the
Chili
quarterback can.
I agree, but if they do,
If they do, I mean,
And I don't know who
do.
the backup is. I've never seen the backup.
And-
well, hey, and another thing I want to mention: Louisville has only lost one game all year, but they lost to Pitt by double digits, and Pitt is only won 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
I didn't even look
That
at
was
Pitt's
Braun.
schedule, so I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but anyway, no, they're just not. They're not any good there. I mean, there's a potential that Florida State has enough in the defense and the running and to win that game.
And this is why I asked: why are these 3 teams above us?
Oh, I think it's
Why is
because
Missouri, Penn State, and Ole Miss still ranked?
I think it's
Ole Miss. I get. I don't understand. They shouldn't be.
they should be
ranked.
one below us.
Right.
I would think.
Missouri, and I forget who their 2 losses. I know Georgia was one.
Missouri should be ahead of us, actually. I think Missouri's had a much better. They lost to Georgia and they lost to.
Who's the other loss?
It was recent. They've just lost recently to 2 teams. And I think they're both SEC teams that they lost to.
Yeah, they were both SEC, but
LSU. That's
LSU.
right. That was the high scoring game. LSU. Yes.
but they still LSU.
But those, I mean, our losses are Oklahoma State and Kansas, and they're ranked way below LSU. So, I mean, and they beat Kansas State, which was a nice win. Our best win's obviously Texas, but otherwise, I don't think we've beat anybody else that's high on the radar.
Penn State. Does Penn State deserve to be above us?
No, they don't. Because
they don't.
Because I think their offense is horrible. Even though they show good offense when they play shit teams, they've lost to Ohio
their
State.
defense
What was
is
the
really
other
good.
one? What was the other? Ohio State and was it Ohio State or Michigan? Who did Penn State lose to?
Here,
Or was
I'll
that
tell you.
both?
They lost to Michigan and they lost to Ohio State.
Is that both losses? I couldn't remember if they played them both this year. Because sometimes that rotation, as far as that goes for the Big Ten, you tend to get easy when it comes to that. But I didn't think they lost to both, but I could be wrong.
They lost to Michigan and Ohio State.
Well, that Ohio State game was close. I forgot about that. All right. So, Sean, what was your final? You talked about your scenarios and how your picks were missed. What do you got?
Man,
Did you write that down, Kristen, by the way?
What's that?
The Final Four.
I got mine. What was yours?
Bama.
we might have a double Big Ten team in.
Bama,
With both of them,
OSU.
with Ohio State and Michigan setting at 2 and 3. Wait, it could end up Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and Washington. But again, the loss is going to be this week. All right, it's going to drop them. And if Florida State can win out,
Ohio State.
if Florida State can win out,
What was your
then
last 2?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Washington and Texas.
So
So you're thinking the possible double Big Ten scenario?
it could be a double Big Ten.
Could you see a potential double Big Ten? I mean, how do you leave the Pac-12 champ out, the Big 12 champ out?
Well, I didn't say the Big 12 champ or the Pac-12 champ was out. The Big 12 champ, yeah, you can leave them out easily.
But if you
You leave Texas out?
Yeah.
now he's going to claim that if Georgia wins,
Georgia wins. Georgia beats
wins.
Alabama.
Yeah,
That's why I
Georgia
said-
wins.
Okay, yeah.
Texas has got to ride Alabama's coattails. They've got
that
to root for
Ohio
them.
State Michigan game has to be close for either team to stay in the top 5.
I find it tough to believe that neither one of. Well, I'm going to tell you this: if Michigan loses to Ohio State, there ain't no fucking way Michigan gets in.
No, not at all. No, they're dropped.
Not a chance.
They're completely dropped. With
Exactly,
with
because
everything
all
that's
the
happened,
drama, and I don't
they're
give a shit what
completely
anybody
dropped
says. Those people have opinions.
I
in their
still
head.
think Michigan's going to beat Ohio State, though. I do. I thought
that's
that
possible.
last year.
And I could see Washington in with Oregon.
I couldn't see that one.
No.
That one I can't
No.
see.
If Oregon beats Washington, right there. But still, there's that Florida State conundrum. Of
That's true, because
if Florida
Washington
State wins
and
out,
Oregon, it was so close to the last
I agree, but I think they kicked the loser out. I think they kicked the non-champ out. I just do.
but that's what I'm saying. If Oregon becomes the champ,
Now you could
does
potentially.
Washington stay in?
But who has Washington beat besides Oregon, who's in the championship? Now, if Georgia wins and beats Alabama, do you see the problem there? That helps Oregon or Washington, I think.
Yeah.
If Georgia wins, Alabama wins,
Your
that
hand,
throws
your old man hand
that
is still
that
close to
throw
my face.
that throws back in Georgia. Georgia, loser of the Washington game. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It all these teams that are on the fringe,
I
except
think
Texas.
OU still has a 19%
No,
chance.
every team on the fringe except Texas wants Georgia to win. Period. It's got to be that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Georgia could potentially run back down.
Except
What's
Texas.
your final?
Except Texas.
Got it. Let's see it. Hear it. We want to write it down.
I don't have a phone.
Texas
Final
wants
four.
Alabama to win.
Huh?
You said every
Final Four's
team,
over
not
there.
Texas.
No, I
Texas-
said every team but Texas wants
Oh,
wants
okay.
Georgia
I
to
didn't
win.
know
My
you said-
Final
yeah.
Four
But-
could technically still happen.
So what is
Georgia,
it? Pick it.
Michigan, Florida
Wanna hear you
State,
pick it.
Oregon.
Let's go. Pick it.
Okay, that's it. It's right there.
Okay, Sean's got.
It's still there. My final could still happen.
Yeah, you're right. Far-fetched, but
I mean, it's not as far as you think, but it's farther than LSU or Clemson getting in.
closer.
Which we've got 3 people that picked LSU.
I know. What a disappointment, Ellis.
One
Now-
dumbass picked Clemson.
So, what also disappointed. And that was me.
I wonder what that idiot.
and
was.
I take-
Wonder what that idiot's doing today.
I take full responsibility for thinking Clemson was going to be better. See, I bought into that Riley effect, and I got to stop doing that. You know, Garrett Riley. So
we don't buy in the Riley effects anymore.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about NFL football. We're going to condense this pretty brief because we've got a lot to talk about as far as it comes there. But actually, give us a score update, Sean. What are we looking at?
And we're still 17-7.
Have we started third quarter yet?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we're in third
okay.
quarter.
Okay, good.
The
So
6:53.
Chiefs fans,
6:58.
you're looking good.
Eagles defense got an interception in that because Mahomes was driving. The Chiefs were driving down the field, and Philly got an interception.
Really?
Yeah, that's why Philly has the ball now. Because while you were yapping, I was looking over at this.
Okay.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about any of the weird games? The resurgence of the Denver Broncos.
Oh Jesus! Don't.
The Super Bowl Denver Broncos.
The donkeys.
You know, I think I'll give him credit for a few things. I think the defense is probably. I mean, Vance Joseph, I love. Used to be former coach of them. He was defensive coordinator at the Cardinals for a little bit. And where did he head coach at? Was it the Cardinals? He took a head. Where was it? He took a head. It was at Denver. Sorry, that's exactly what I said before. That was before. The guy come back. He's a hell of a coach.
You said before like 8 times.
I know, but he's
But it was before.
But he's a hell of a coach, and coaching matters in the NFL. I don't give a shit what anybody says, and it matters because even though they're professionals, it does. It shows that. Now, Sean Payton, I think Russell Wilson's played better in the past few weeks. But I don't. And the past too. I just don't
There's
like
an argument
him.
that Russell Wilson did not play bad all season.
No, they're having a lot of close games.
Like midway through the season, he had the same numbers as Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, we all except Zach picked them all low though.
What are you talking about?
As far as the picks, I mean, we picked them all low. I mean, we thought they were going to struggle.
Yeah,
but, I mean, we thought that, obviously, the Chiefs and we thought the Chargers were better. I don't know why Brandon Staley's not been fired yet.
The
thought
Chargers,
that was going to happen
The Chargers
today.
has a lot of
They're not
talent, and they just cannot get it fucking
They're
done.
just going to wait. They're going to wait. To fire.
They got great defensive players, and it just blows it. Just blows it every game.
Would you take Herbert over
Justin
Allen?
Fields? Yes,
Allen.
I would. I said that last year. We had the same
I
conversation
know,
last
but
year.
I mean, thinking about it now, though, you think about it, neither one of them's really done anything. I mean, Josh Allen might have done more than Herbert by a smidge.
I mean, Brock
and I'm
Purdy.
talking
You're talking about more interceptions because he's leading in
stats,
interceptions.
not stats. I'm just talking
But
as
Brock
leading
Purdy
into-
almost played a perfect game.
Yeah, I wouldn't take him over any of those. But anyway,
Well, I mean, he did dismantle Tampa Bay.
dismantled 27 points. Stroud had 5 touchdowns against that Tampa Bay defense 2 weeks ago. So I don't know if we need to really temper that Bucks have a really good defense. I mean,
Brock
they've definitely
Purdy,
struggled.
NFL MVP.
Yeah, that's not even going to happen. Not a chance. So no, but I mean, what we've talked about now, the Bills won this week, but they struggled last week. The Chiefs have looked odd. They're looking good now, but they've looked odd. They had a bye week. Maybe that's going to.
But here's the
change
deal:
anything.
the Chiefs, they're kind of like OU. They lose to teams that they shouldn't even be close with, and they beat the hard teams. They step up and play when it matters.
I wish OU was like them though, because they win championships.
Yes, that's true.
I need a couple. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, that's
made a
because,
deal with the
that's
devil.
because you can lose 3 games and get into the title.
You can lose. Yeah, exactly. And
College
now,
football, you cannot afford to lose any games.
Yes,
but I think that's going to change after next year.
with the
The
12 team
playoff.
that'll
You're going to
that'll change
potentially
everything.
see. Could you not see this year if it was a 12 team that LSU might sneak into 12?
No.
Really?
Yeah,
Where are
I
they
agree.
ranked right now? I bet 12, 13. I bet they ain't far off the top 12.
LSU is 14,
See,
right behind us.
Close. I mean, see, those 3 lost teams, especially in the SEC, could
Tim
could
Smith
get in
would
there.
like to bet a family box of Star Crunch.
On what?
Georgia doesn't lose and Michigan misses the playoffs.
Okay, so Georgia doesn't lose, and Michigan misses the playoffs.
Yeah.
I can't take. Well, I
can't give you the Star Crunch. I mean, I can. I can give you the Star Crunch whenever you want.
I like that.
I just
Tim.
go steal them out of the.
I like that, Tim. You need to make postmark or not mark it, and then
just write it down.
Yeah, we'll do that. Crescent secretary, write that down.
Secretary,
one family pack of Star Crunch for that bet.
For Georgia not losing and Michigan missing
to not
the playoffs.
miss the playoffs. Okay.
Tim Smith, you're in?
Yeah, even though I lean a little bit,
Well,
I like OSU.
You lean because you're fat.
No, shut up. I like Ohio State. I like Ohio State's win. I think Ohio State's going to beat Michigan. So that's half. But I think Alabama is peaking at the right time, and I think Georgia's. Now they've played.
Alabama had, even though we're on NFL talk, Alabama's Jalen Milroe has matured throughout the season. We've watched it. We've talked about that.
Gotten better. I think the team overall's gotten better. You know,
Right.
You got to think about
they
all.
calmed down. They settled.
Think about all the starters they've lost too.
Who?
That's Alabama and Georgia too. I mean, they've kind of
Back to
had
NFL. Back to NFL.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Back to NFL. So we got that bet, Tim. So I'm on that. So what is the deal with? I thought the Bills. They're struggling. They fired Ken Dorsey 2 weeks ago.
And we all called that scapegoat firing.
For sure.
I mean,
it was definitely that morning. They're gonna have somebody's gonna have to pay the price, and it was him. What's gonna happen? It's gonna be interesting to see who he actually hires. Joe Brady had the one good year at LSU. You know, that's the replacements. Joe Brady, he was there already. You know, so everyone thought he was the next big thing. He goes with Matt Rule to Carolina, if you remember, and flamed out. And then, whatever's fault it was. Then he went back. Hey, listen, if you got Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase in your offense, you're going to look pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
It's calling plays. So, I don't know if...
Did he just say with Joe Burrow on your offense, you're going to look good?
In college. I'm talking about the college team.
Yes.
Now, remember about that. Another thing I wrote down is Joe Burrow out for the year with a wrist injury. And I have
mystery wrist injury.
It was a torn ligament.
Is this
tendon.
year 3 or year 2?
No. I call it mystery wrist injury because he came into the game with the mystery wrist injury.
He did. He had a
and
brace
nobody
on.
understood how that happened. They were like, "Wait a minute, he came in with this weird brace on." Played did he get halfway through the game?
Not quite, but yes.
Almost halfway through, and then goes out.
I forgot when he went out. Yeah. So I did make the prediction that he would never go back to the Super Bowl with the Bengals if we hadn't remembered that.
Oh no, we remember because you remind us every day.
Well, every year that he doesn't. So not every week. He's just not going this
it
year
every week.
either,
You said
right?
it pretty much
every
Okay.
week.
He's just not. I mean, it was a
Actually, I
fluke.
wrote that down somewhere.
It was a fluke deal that the Bengals even went that year, and they're not going to go back. It's just what happens. And Joe Burrow is a really good NFL quarterback. I think he is.
Top 5,
But
top 8, somewhere in there.
He's definitely top 5. But I think what happens with the salary cap, look what the talent around him, kind of like Purdy, kind of like Hurts. You're going to start to lose some of that because of paychecks. It's just the way it is. And that's why Stroud right now, you think about, or not Stroud, yes, Stroud right now, they got a lot of youth on that team, but a lot of offensive talent, and they're on the cheap. So teams that have these quarterbacks that don't have the fat salaries are always looking better if they can get up there and get there. But as far as that goes, I think that Staley's gone from San Diego. I think Belichick should be gone. I don't know what they're going to do there. Obviously,
Eberflus is gone.
The Bears coach is gone.
Let's see. We're going to fire Matt Canada
for sure
at Pittsburgh because Tomlin's a lifer.
Do the
Browns change? Did they change?
No, Stefanski's going to keep going.
No, the offensive coordinator.
Well, and on paper, but Stefanski.
Yeah, we know. Does Dable?
Oh, yeah, that's the other one. No, Riviera gets fired. He's done.
Riviera's gone?
Yeah. He lost the Giants. He's done. It's over.
Well, that was DeVito. Danny
DeVito's
Danny
kid, Tommy.
DeVito,
Yes. But much taller.
Yeah. And we do know Chargers coach is gone because they lost to the Packers, and that was horrible.
LaFraud.
But LaFraud's going to stay there.
Of course.
Did you say LaCourse?
Of course. He's going to bank off Aaron Rodgers for another couple years.
They're not losing a coach. Todd Bowles might be gone out of Tampa.
Probably. And I thought the Seahawks loss to the Rams was odd. Seahawks are a really weird team.
They are.
And they made the playoffs last year, but I told you that Dave Canales, who left, was a quarterback coach.
Well, also,
that came to Tampa was gonna
Stafford
hurt.
was back. Stafford and Cup came back, even though Cup went out in the game. That was Stafford's return game for the Rams.
Hit that box score there. I want to see Stafford's stats.
Well, it wasn't amazing, but
No, he's not any good. He's done. Like I
never
said,
heard of her.
injury prone. That's what he's going to be for the rest of his
190,
career.
1-1.
Did they make it?
I don't know how that happened.
So he was 17 to 31, 190 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, got sacked, and had a QBR of 42. I mean, Geno had better numbers. Matt Stafford should retire.
I'm not arguing. I'm not
No,
arguing.
I mean, it's funny because I think the Rams are just going to keep buying into that over and over. Hey,
Oh no, there's talk about LA Rams looking for a quarterback.
the Lions won
They can
that
take
deal.
Caleb Williams.
How nuts to think
Yeah.
about that. Even though the Rams did get a Super
over-
Bowl.
yeah.
They did get a Super Bowl, but they were already a built team, and you
Look,
have to
they
remember
they
that
can-
Goff took them to a Super Bowl already and
Yeah.
lost. I mean, it was unfortunate.
They can have Caleb Williams, and that's fine. Just keep him in LA.
Caleb Williams is going to the Giants, is my prediction.
doesn't matter where
And the
he
Giants
goes.
are going to regret that
He's
decision
overhyped garbage.
over
and
over and over. He's not mentally suited.
Oh, looks
Not-
like
and
they
this
got a
is-
touchdown.
This
They
is
did.
my
It was
opinion.
14,
It's my
17.
opinion. I just don't think he's mentally suited for the NFL. Marvin Harrison reminds me of his dad, but better. Quiet, humble, just catches touchdowns. Huge. He's more built better than his dad. He plays better than his dad. And his dad is going to be, I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame now, but he should be.
Marvin Harrison?
Yeah, he might be in the Hall of Fame. I don't
is.
know. But
Is he
that
a
guy was a badass and was never about fanfare, never about anything.
No, and that's what made him a great receiver.
Yeah. And that's why I think Harrison should win the Heisman, will be the number 1 pick in the draft,
Now,
no
how
matter
did
who
the
picks it.
Dolphins put up that many?
So-
How do the Dolphins stats look that good, but only put up 20 points against the Raiders?
Okay, so that's a good question. Dolphins, Lions, are they equivalent, you think, a little bit? And I say that because one of the
I
best
think-
years they're having.
I don't know, but I think Baltimore's defense can dismantle.
Not
This
talking
can
about the other
dismantle Miami.
the AFC teams. I'm just talking about those two teams.
They
Remind
are-
me of a
I-
lot of each other.
Yeah, but I feel like that the Dolphins score better and look better on offense.
But can't win big games.
yes.
And the
We
Lions
can't beat teams over 500.
But the
Yes.
Lions have had bigger wins. Sean, would you pull up their schedule, see what their wins? Because I think they've had some better, and they're tougher and they're gritty. But then
the Lions beat Kansas City.
Okay, there you go. So
First game of the season, we were there, crashed and cried.
that's right.
did.
Yes.
They had to come back to beat the Bears, which was stupid.
Yes.
Their
they-
schedule looks kind of soft if you're talking. You know what I mean?
Well, from here on out,
Yeah.
it is very
Yeah.
soft.
Well, no, it's going to get serious here.
Well, what Vikings? You talking about the Vikings or the Cowboys?
Well, it's Cowboys
or the
too.
Broncos?
No, maybe the Broncos.
Yeah, because
Is that this
you
week
know,
or
the
is that next week? Bears this week? Yeah.
The Broncos are back.
But division rivalries, so you're going to get the Vikings.
It's very.
they're going to be a little
schedule's
closer.
very soft at this point.
Agree, but I just they remind me of the same team, and I don't think either one of them can make the Super Bowl.
See, they didn't beat the Ravens.
I think that I
They
think
lost to the Seahawks, and
barely though. I mean,
I mean, but still, it was a loss.
Yeah.
It is a loss. It is to the Seahawks. Their two losses are Seahawks and Ravens.
well, and the Ravens is
And that's what I'm saying, that
obviously.
Ravens-
I mean, I think they're the AFC team right now to beat. But then you see Lamar kind of have weird games.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
but
weird.
their defense is consistently good. That's the one thing about them. They have looked
All right, we
consistently
hit an
good.
hour 10.
Okay. So anyway, as far as let's talk about
I'm gonna go look at Miami's. We'll look at Miami's schedule real quick. They
Bills,
have
Eagles,
soft.
Every team that's
soft-
good, they
Well,
lose to.
what I'm
Dallas.
saying.
See, they do have to play Baltimore, so
they-
we'll get to see.
they remind me of the same team. Detroit and Miami remind me of each other. It's the two comparison teams. I thought, man, they really good record, looking good. People are talking about them, except they haven't had, besides the Chiefs,
A
and
marquee
one.
win. Yeah.
Yeah, but consistently winning against the big teams. All right, let's move on to Creston's. Got anything for the?
I don't think you did anything, did you?
I have not.
He hasn't done
So
it.
no hunting yet. Rifle season started now.
Yes.
Haven't seen any of your big ones. I mean, you got pictures like out the ass that you've shown everybody, and
Just every time the big we've got two deer that's 170-inch deer, and both of them only show up, and they show up at the stands where they show up in the daylight, so that's a good sign. But they're showing up when the wind is wrong for that stand. You can't hunt them. I mean, just if they would show up one day when the wind was right.
Hey, see anything over there?
Yeah.
Well, also, if he didn't have a daughter out there kicking the walls.
Well, you take your kids hunting. I think that's great.
Yeah, you got to take your kids hunting.
But didn't see anything then either, did you? Because
Kenny
you didn't knock that
Kenny
kid
never
into
took
the...
any of it.
No, he didn't knock that kid into the wall and be like, I'm taking this one.
Yeah. We saw...
You wouldn't hit Nat. You'd hit
I
Nora.
said just knock her in the wall. Move it.
Nora, but he wouldn't hit Nat.
No, the day I took Nora, we saw, I don't know, 15 deer or something, bunch of does, several little bucks. Did see one decent buck, but it was on the way leaving.
She had a buck yet? Nora?
No.
Okay.
No.
But she's had a doe, right? She shot one
No.
yet? Oh,
she shot a buck last year that we did not find.
Couldn't find that one. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
He's the bleeder, ran off in the woods.
But
you ever seen?
It's one of them
400
things. We saw a deer last weekend as we were going back up to the truck that an adult could have just grabbed the gun and shot it.
Okay.
Obviously, a 7-year-old child cannot just stand in the middle of the field as the deer's standing over there looking at him, grab the gun, pick it up. I mean,
sure.
What kind of 7-year-old child you got?
I couldn't do that.
So
Creston, pull the safety for me. I don't know where it's at.
Yeah. So
I went to shoot the dogs in the yard this afternoon before I left, and I forgot to pull the safety.
Well,
so that was the deal. She will not shoot. I mean, the other day we had does all in front of us.
just wanting something good.
I said, "Do you want to shoot?" No, I don't. She is a horn hunter already at the age of 7. And I think that's my fault because
as you get older, you're less likely to shoot more than 10, 15 years ago, correct? You're kind of...
Oh, God, yes. I'm not squeezing the trigger unless I'm putting it on the wall.
Yeah, and that's what I've seen from some of my hunting friends is they're like, nah, I'm not doing that. It's all about kill, and then it's like, it's a lot of work. If it ain't a good one.
And Nora started out just the opposite. She's not kill. Yeah. She's just like, no. I mean, it's kind of sad because I want her to start shooting something, but she's just like, no, Dad, I'm waiting on a big one.
Yeah.
And,
as you should. And that's good.
Yeah.
Size queen.
That's good. All right. Anything else? Fishing's done for the year?
I can fish some winter jackpots. I'm not.
Gotcha.
So.
I think you did fish last year. Did you fish last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I will. I will after rifle season. I'll hit some winter jackpots and stuff. But
gotcha.
I'm gonna go fishing with him in winter jackpots.
Winter jackpots. All right. What's next? Bum, 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 bum. As we wind down for this.
Oh, that's
episode.
it. That's all we've got.
All right.
Oh, they're MVPs and.
Yeah, we're supposed to.
Oh
do
yeah.
MVP.
Then what's your NFL MVP actually? We talked about that. We actually.
Rookie of the year.
No.
No.
Just
We didn't
MVP.
do rookie.
We hadn't
of the
talked
year.
rookie yet. I want to wait till the last game.
No, you don't want to.
Yeah, that's CJ's.
Yeah, I mean everyone's picking Stroud, so that's done. Yeah.
MVP.
They might have actually. Will Anderson too, maybe.
MVP.
Well, that's
is,
what I said earlier. That's what I said last night.
Patrick Mahomes is leading right now. I mean, he is.
He's not leading my fantasy team to a win currently.
Jalen's not leading mine
that
either.
Son of a bitch needs 4.5 more points. He's got to go. Him or Kelsey.
Hey, you know what we're not talking about?
I mean, my word.
You know who we've never brought up is DeAndre Swift.
For MVP?
Yeah, he's had a great season.
I still think. I mean, Patrick Mahomes.
I mean,
is
they
leading,
only have
but
one. They only have one
Tyreek
loss.
Hill. Tyreek Hill breaks the record. I can see him winning MVP.
Why? But he's been inept in like 2 games.
Not really inept. I mean, I think if he breaks the record, that's going to be pretty. That's what's going to
solidify popularity contest.
Well, not necessarily popularity,
not a
but
man that helps his team win, but a man that.
And hey, you know, another guy that we haven't. I mean, Lamar Hurts.
Lamar Jackson.
They're combined. Lamar Hurts. Hurts has had a little bit off of a year. Could be an injury issue, so I'm not going to really put him up there, but he's going to be discussed. But I thought Lamar Jackson's had a pretty good year.
Yes.
It's a very strange year, too.
Yes, but I mean, but overall, you're not seeing him throwing 3 or 4 picks unless I missed one of his games. But, you know, they've won, what are they, 7-2, I think. They've only lost 2 losses. So, I mean, and their defense is better. But, I mean, he hasn't had some of them bad games like we saw last year.
8-3. 8-3.
They're 8-3. Okay.
But their differential's 127, which is I think the best in the league currently.
Yeah. So
And he hasn't got hurt this
they're
year.
tied with Dallas. I know this guy's on the Dallas team that we're not talking about.
Nobody.
Who?
The defensive. What's his nuts?
Oh, you're talking about defensive MVP? Parsons, maybe?
But the MVP is just the.
No, they do it offense and defense.
yeah.
Oh, I thought they just did one.
No,
general
they
MVP.
do one back and forth.
Oh, okay.
They do the same with the rookie of the year, offense, defense.
Well, I knew they did
Yeah.
Rookie of the Year.
No, they do both now. So,
San Francisco's sitting with.
I think they did.
Brock
Purdy.
Purdy. Brock Purdy, MVP. I mean, he almost had a perfect game.
Well, Sean, you might be right. Maybe they don't, because everyone that I'm seeing is all offense.
Yeah.
They haven't talked about any defense.
Like I said, it's all popularity contest.
You might be right. Maybe the NFL MVP is
Just say
one.
that I'm right, Kenny. Can you just say that
might
somebody's
be,
right?
You might be. So, Dallas. We didn't even talk about Dallas. For real yet? Feeling it?
No.
Okay.
Still not.
No, I'm not feeling
Third
it.
best team in the NFC?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
probably.
mean, you don't really have much to choose from there.
No, I mean, you're still feeling that though, that they're still.
Well, yeah, because if you want to look at the playoffs now for the NFC, you've got Philly 1, Detroit 2, San Fran 3, the horrible South Saints at number 4, and then unless they've changed that
No.
setup, then Dallas is the top wild card seed along with, I guess, Minnesota.
Okay.
Or Seattle?
So we were a little bit wrong. Sean actually was right. They do one MVP, but they do this offensive and defensive player of the year.
Player of the year. Okay.
Oh yeah, player of the year.
Player
Yeah,
of the
they
year.
do that.
Okay.
So MVP is everyone, but hell, I mean, when's an MVP got for defense ever? So,
Hey, I don't know.
Lamar, Jalen, and Mahomes are the candidates right now, obviously, for the MVP.
Brock Purdy.
Yeah. So now
But I'm still saying Tyreek if he breaks the record.
he was offensive player of the year, but not MVP. So I don't know why they do that. It's kind of stupid. But maybe they only could pick one and not pick
The
other,
MVP only means the most valuable pussy,
Yeah.
which is the quarterbacks.
True.
So generally goes that way.
You hurt my toe. I'm Tom Brady. That man grabbed me by the ankle. Make a rule that he can't touch my ankles. Only Giselle can touch my ankles. Oh, I'm Tom Brady.
Is he still trying to trash Tom Brady?
Always trashing Tom Brady.
Come on now.
Tom Brady.
Sean, I think we're going into the fourth quarter right now. Chiefs currently lead.
Yeah, we just started the fourth.
17
We just started the fourth.
As we wind down, any final
As
thoughts?
Kenny wants to get out
Any,
of here.
any,
for
final,
the fourth
any
quarter.
final thoughts on? Well, we still got to move to new studio. New studio digs next week.
Yeah, we're packing up. This is.
Um,
I never turned the light on. That's why I'm so dark over here. I just realized.
I gave you the cord and you plugged in.
I plugged it in. I just
Yeah.
never turned it on.
Mhm.
Are we taking the light? Are we taking our special
No, I
light?
think we're leaving the light for now. I'll have to talk my landlord into it. The first studio landlord. The
You're
first
her
studio landlord.
But aren't you her landlord?
No, it's just,
You don't own the house yet.
No, not yet.
He's helping own the house.
So,
soon.
so anyways, we close up. Any final thoughts looking in this week? I mean, it's going to be an exciting week of football. It's
Brock Purdy.
I'm more excited actually about college because we're getting into the
It's
end.
ending. It's ending.
Coaching searches.
Last game of the season is still Army Navy, which
Coaching searches.
is that going to change? Do you think that's going to change?
I don't know. I think that'll be the following week because usually when they play that, isn't it?
But I mean, But I said last game of the season is,
it's
is Army
possible.
Navy.
Yeah.
But do you think that's going to change with Army coming into Con USA?
That might. That actually might.
Since Army's no longer independent, they
Coaching-
had to vote that in.
Coaching searches right now. You got A&M, Michigan State, Boise,
Ole Miss or Mississippi State.
Mississippi State, and Michigan State. You've got Syracuse now open. San Diego State
Did they
retired.
fire him?
Yeah. Dino Babers got fired.
Oh, Dino.
Long time coming. That's a tough job. I mean, just Syracuse in general. Anything.
How is it tough to fill?
Anything up in the Northeast, because I mean, you've got the Ohio State, Penn State just sucking, Michigan sucking every talent that's in that region.
Why
dry.
don't you love? Well,
So-
because you remember James Franklin was pulled from Vandy.
Yeah, but he was in the SEC and he was more Southern, so you can get some people down
But
there.
that's what I'm saying. He was sucked up
Yeah.
in that Big Ten vacuum.
I still haven't decided. I now, quick thought on Lincoln Riley. Had to leave. We'll leave with this. Hold on.
Yay!
So allegedly,
Kenny's
no, hold
son's
on. Hold on. Allegedly,
name bearer.
he's got a defensive coordinator already picked out. It's going to be allegedly a big name, and they're working on contract deals. Should be done by Friday. Are you surprised at that? That means he might be staying another year? I mean, the quote he had, was the fire in his belly burns hotter to make turn this job around.
That fire in his belly is all the indigestion from the Mexican food. He can't handle the jalapeno.
No, what has happened is his agents called around and everyone's like, no.
Yeah, that little Chicago.
You need an offensive coordinator? No. Yeah, we'll take you, but not head coach.
No,
I don't think so. I think that's what's happened. I really do, and I can't prove it, but I think that's what's happened. So he's going to stay at USC.
A&M's not going to get him because it's the SEC.
He's going to stay. He's going to the Big Ten, so he's going to stay.
But what I'm saying is he can't coach in the SEC.
Could you potentially see him not winning 7-8 games for the next couple of years and get fired? And what does he do? He's back to an offensive coordinator.
Yes.
Kingsbury.
That's the rise and fall. Oh, no, this is bigger than
No,
Cliff.
he just goes and becomes an analyst.
Cliff
he
had
just goes
Tech.
and becomes an analyst.
Cliff had a head coaching job at Tech. Lincoln Riley had OU. Top 5 to 7 premier jobs in the nation and wouldn't have been fired.
When he's fired, he becomes an analyst. That's what happens.
It's going to be interesting because I think the Big Ten's going to be a shock for him, too.
Brings him in?
It's going to be a huge shock.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I said it when he first came to OU.
He's a snake.
I didn't like
his
him.
name is Snaky Riley.
I did not like him when he first
Kenny
moved
named
in.
his-
The tweets of the Snaky Riley were hilarious. So, where they looks like the Cobra head on him.
is there actually ones out there?
Yes!
I didn't know it!
Yes!
Somebody stole my Snaky Riley!
Yes! It is great. But anyway, I had
another guy that
I had to close
with
with
Skittle
I had to
shakers.
close with that because I found that interesting that the big hire is coming this week, and I thought he's staying. He is not.
No
going
one
anywhere.
wants him as a head coach, so
that's-
he can't leave.
Deron Bland sets NFL record with 5 pick sixes. Lincoln Riley ends up on the next Last Chance U, Tim Smith.
Yeah,
very vocal tonight.
possibly he could be actually. That would be like Mississippi, Birmingham State.
UAB's got Trent Dilfer right now.
Kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I made that. I just combined a bunch of school names.
I would say Southern Atlantic, Florida State Tech.
University Tech, yes. So, anyway, it'll be interesting. I can't wait to see. I want to see who he hires. I think he's hiring Jim Leonard. That's my prediction.
Leonard from
was at Washington. He was an analyst this year somewhere.
Right.
I think that's his pick. I think that's been the rumor.
He keeps Kingsbury on as the analyst?
I know. I think he goes somewhere. I think coaching. I love coaching moves. I mean, I'm telling you. You look at Barry Odom from UNLV. If nobody's looking at him, and you look at Jerry Kill from New Mexico State.
Well, no! Don't bring Kill back into this.
Dude, his health is better. He built Minnesota, and he had to leave on his health.
I know, but Kill. I don't think Kill leaves for a bigger program anymore. I think Kill will stay with New Mexico State and just be happy.
Quite possibly.
I think he just stays and be.
If Arkansas comes open, he'd be the first one I looked at.
I would say you don't think they bring him in as offensive coordinator?
No, just hire him as head coach. The dude has built every program. It's New Mexico State is going to the Conference USA Championship.
But do you think he can handle that stress?
He did at Minnesota. He's fixed his health problems. He had some seizure issues. He's fixed that. That's why he had to resign. He had Minnesota going.
I'm just saying.
No, he had Minnesota better than what Flex got Minnesota now.
Is a hell of a drug.
No, I'm just saying. If
Arkansas
comes open,
seizures.
If Arkansas comes open, you either if Arkansas comes open, you either hire him or you hire Barry Odom. That used to be your defensive coordinator. You hire him back.
I figured Odom would go. I think Kill's happy. Kill's happy.
UNLV beat Air Force this week. I think they're in the championship.
Oh, they did.
Brennan Marion.
Because Air Force was undefeated going in.
I think they might have maybe
they
might have lost one. But anyway,
they were undefeated in conference.
Anyway, Brennan Marion from Tulsa, former wide receiver, is their offensive coordinator. Watched them the other night when they played Wyoming. That guy's a star in the making too. I'm telling you, those Odom and Brennan Marion is going to be stars in the future for coaching. So I'm done. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Thank you all for joining us for this episode. We'll see you back next Monday.
Thank you, special guest.
Yeah,
Craig.
Thank you for our Texas bystander.
We'll see you in the big city here soon.
Thank you for all the people that have listened.
Jared Kaiser
and posted in. So hey. Thank you for everybody. Keep following us. We're gonna have better stuff next. It's gonna get better because it's gonna be crazy next week after the championship games.
We're gonna have a new studio,
and we'll be in the new studio.
Kenny's basement.
Yeah, we'll be in the new studio. All right. Thanks everybody. I appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. Bye everybody.
See you, buddy.